What's going on, folks? Today I'm here to bring you an EDH deck tech for Derevi Empyrial Tactician. Now, Derevi is a Bant-colored commander that is green, blue, white, and that is also the casting cost of Derevi, green, blue, white. Possessing the creature attributes of Bird and Wizard, also the ability of flying, Derevi comes with a 2 power, 3 toughness body. Also, Derevi comes with the triggered ability of whenever it enters or a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you can tap or untap target permanent. This is an extremely flexible ability because it can be used in multiple ways, and it can be triggered multiple times by multiple creatures connecting with opponents and dealing damage. That tap or untap could either tap down opponents' lands, creatures, artifacts. It can untap your own creatures who deal combat damage, or maybe even that don't. So you can get multiple triggers out of tap abilities, or give your creature pseudo-vigilance. It can also untap your mana to give you additional mana tempos. Very strong. Not to mention that's not all. Derevi also has the activated ability for a colorless, a green, a blue, and a white to put himself from the command zone onto the battlefield. Yeah. I mean, Derevi's basically broken, so that mitigates all commander attacks, always costing 4 mana, and it turns your Enter the Battlefield into an interactive thing where all of a sudden, because an activated ability can be activated at any time, so all of a sudden someone's trying to enter combat with it that betrays. Can you promise you're not swinging at me? You can't promise that. Okay. Activate my ability, bring Derevi out, tap your guy down. Okay. So Derevi's actually broken and one of the most insane commanders I've ever been able to pilot. Definitely an insanely strong card. Quick preface to the deck tech that this is not a stax build. If you know what stacks are, you know. If you don't, well, we can hope it stays that way. Just a little joke. Okay, anyway, let's dive right into this. I'm going to start with the creatures, starting with low CMC, going up, and then we'll get into other things. So, 2 drops. We have Fauna Shaman, being a tap ability for a green and tap. Discard a creature to search out any creature. Very, very strong ability, being that we can also untap with Derevi's either damage ability or Enter the Battlefield ability to then search out multiple creatures. Super flexible, very strong. This Meta Witch, being able to flicker any target creature until the beginning of the next end step, is insanely strong also because it's any target creature, not just your own. You can temporarily deal with creatures attacking you that are scary. You can dodge board wipes with your own board, with your own things. Very good. Coiling Oracle has a lot of flexibility to offer too, being either card draw or mana ramp. It could just go in the mana ramp slot, but since it also half the time is card draw, or a little bit more than half the time, yeah, it seemed proper to put it in the bulk of creatures. So those are the only 2 drops we run, but they're all very strong, so worth running. Starting off with the 3 drops. Got Eternal Witness. Since we do run a lot of blink stuff in this deck, Eternal Witness is very strong. Definitely worth having. When you can blink it multiple times, recycle multiple things, it's just such a good card advantage. Mirror Image, being able to copy any of our own creatures, just doubles up our own ETBs. It's very flexible, and since we run a whole bunch of good Enter the Battlefield effects and activated abilities, it's just an insanely flexible, strong card. Fiend Hunter, Flicker Wisp, similar abilities, while not the same. They both have the ability to basically exile things and bring them back to the battlefield. Flicker Wisp does that at the end of turn. Fiend Hunter does that whenever he leaves the battlefield. So those are both very strong. Fierce Empath is an ETB to search a 6-drop or higher creature from our deck to our hand. That's very flexible, just to tutor on a stick for our big guys. Super good. Okay, on to the 4 drops. Delira Master Polymorphous, for the cost of 2 colorless, a blue, tap. You can sacrifice another creature and reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature. Put that card in the battlefield, others on the bottom of your library. Super strong, very fun. Clone, again, this can actually copy any creature on the battlefield, so it's very flexible in that we can take creatures from our opponents that we normally wouldn't be able to have, or we can copy our own things and just get more value out of them. Felidar Guardian, a very fun card to enter the battlefield and then flicker any permanent we have instantly, bringing it back. Very good in that it's very combo actually, super strong. Shali, Voice of Plenty, very good giving us, our planeswalkers and other creatures hexproof is just insane, not to mention pay 6 mana to put a 1/1 counter and everything is a lot of value. Archaeomancer, being able to recycle instants and sorceries on ETB is very good. It gets us a lot of value also out of our grave. And to round off our 4 drops, we run Angel of Finality, being able to ETB to exile an opponent's graveyard. Very, very strong. Being able to have exile an opponent's graveyard in our toolbox of abilities is very necessary. Seedborn Muse, untapping all our permanents. This is a 5-drop category now. Untapping all of our permanents during each other player's untap step is way too much value, way too busted. Curemate Guide, ETB to bring back a creature, very strong, very combo-y. Acidic Slime, ETB to pop artifacts, enchantments, or lands, also super strong. Body Double, copying creatures in any graveyard, very good, very flexible. Get us stuff we shouldn't normally have. Double up on our own things, as I always say. Too good. We also run Rune of the Hidden Realm. Very strong card. You could run this as your commander potentially if you don't like Derevi or feel like Derevi is just too strong, but I think Derevi is way too fun, so I choose to run Rune in the 99. Very strong card. Muldrifter. Very strong to have the ETB to just draw 2 cards. Thins out our deck. Also being able to flicker it, do it multiple times. Just a very good card to have. Azami Lady of Scrolls, another card draw engine. Tap wizards, draw cards. While we don't run too many wizards, Azami herself is a wizard and Derevi is a wizard, so that's already 2 cards a turn essentially. Prime Speaker Zagana, another very strong ETB to draw a whole lot of cards. So good. Deadeye, basically just an insanely good blink engine as well as being able to potentially go infinite in some occasions. Progenitor Mimic. Progenitor Mimic has the ability to, again, be a shapeshifter, enter as any creature on the battlefield, but at the beginning of our upkeep we make a token of it. So we just get an enter the battlefield every turn for free, basically. So good. Brutalizer Exarch, being able to enter the battlefield to either put a non-creature permanent on the bottom of its owner's library or search a creature from our library to the top of our library. Just too good. Sun Titan, for the last 6-drop, is ETB to bring back a 3-drop or less permanent from our graveyard or on attack. Very, very good. So, those are our 6 drops. On to 7. Tishana, Voice of Plenty, or no, Voice of Thunder, pardon me. ETB to draw cards equal to the number of creatures we control. If that wasn't enough craziness, Tishana also gives us no maximum hand size, as well as having power and toughness equal to the cards that we have in hand. So she's just a powerhouse. Not to mention Resolute Archangel, another powerhouse. Enter the battlefield to put our life total back to the original starting total. Lumina Primordial. Enter the battlefield to exile a creature from each of our opponents, but they gain life equal to its power. Very insane. Diluvian Primordial lets us cast an instant or sorcery for free from each of our opponent's graveyards. Another insane 7-drop. So those are all super broken. Okay, that's the bulk of the creatures that we run. Now on to the mana ramp. There's a couple creatures in here, but their primary purpose is mana ramp. So they fit into the mana ramp category. So Farseek, Rampant Growth, both sorceries at 2-drop for mana ramp. Sakura Tribe Elder, 2-drop mana ramp, very good. 3-drop, Kadama's Reach, Cultivate, very good sorcery mana ramp. Farhaven Elf and Wood Elves, both very good creature enter the battlefield mana ramp. So while they're reusable with our engines, they're just super good. Wood Elves is crazy because it could search out any forest, right? So that could be like a breeding pool or something. Very strong. Onto the 4-drops, Explosive Vegetation. Searching out 2 basics, very good for 4. Dawn's Reflection Market Festival. Some interesting mana ramp I run in here, being that they're 4-drop enchant lands, so you can enchant any of your lands, and then it taps for any 2 additional mana when it taps in any combination. So since we do run some bounce lands that tap for 2 mana, that being able to tap for 4 mana of any color combination essentially makes it so Derevi's activated ability for 4 from the command zone is for free, because you can untap the land when, yeah, it's just so good, as well as going infinite with Derevi, Deadeye, and an enchant land. Just very good, super strong and flexible because they're just mana ramp also, so they're not like actual just bricky pieces of a combo that if they're not going infinite they never work. Just super strong. Okay, on to artifacts. Quicksilver Amulet and Birthing Pod are the 2 artifacts we do run. Both powerhouses, while Birthing Pod's just insanely broken. Quicksilver Amulet in this deck is also sneaky good in that you can untap it with your activating your commander from the command zone, bring him in, untap it, bounce something else out. That requires a fair amount of mana, mind you, but it's still very possible. And also Birthing Pod is just insane. Too good of a card. Okay. On to enchantments. Privileged Position gives all of our other permanents hexproof. Insanely good. Zendikar Surgeon, making all of our lands tap for additional mana is crazy, so doubling our mana is too good. And then also drawing cards on creature casts is just insane. And Omniscience is just nutty. I mean, not having to pay mana costs is like, what? So, yeah, if your play group doesn't punish you, just, make you too miserable for playing such strong cards, why not play them? But, user discretion advised for darn sure. Okay, on to instants, sorceries, and other goodness. We're going to start off with our tutors. We run Enlightened Tutor and Worldly Tutor, searching out artifacts or enchantments or creatures. Searching out Birthing Pod is very good, so it's worth the Enlightened Tutor for sure. Time of Need, Eldamari's Call, searching out legendaries is good. Just any creature instant speed good. And Fabricate, again, artifact search to search out our Birthing Pod primarily. Just very, very strong cards to help boost consistency. Just a bit of card draw in an instant and sorcery. So Stroke of Genius, Rush to Knowledge, both just draw a fair amount of cards, help keep our hand loaded and keep a lot of possibilities open to what we can do. Resurrection, just a good enter the battlefield to then, excuse me, it's not an enter the battlefield, it is a sorcery. For 4 mana, brings any of our guys back from the graveyard, just very strong. Since we're not running black, while it's more expensive than Reanimate, it's still very good, and I like running it. On to some of the instant speed interaction things that we like to keep to make sure our opponents, stay guessing. Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, both very strong to exile creatures instant speed for 1 mana. Forsake the Worldly. This is a good card because it exiles. Excuse me, goodness, why can't I? So it exiles target artifact or enchantment, instant speed for 3. So exiling is already very good, but it also comes with the ability to cycle it away for 2 mana, so instant speed, and a turn you can pitch it to draw a card if you just need to see more options, so it's very flexible. Eerie Interlude, and I can't remember the name of this card, excuse me, this is like a French copy, so can't remember the name. Sorry guys. But basically these both flicker your board. This just doesn't target, it flickers all your creatures, and this exiles any number of creatures that you control till the end of turn, so any number of target creatures, excuse me. So yeah, these are good because they dodge board wipes as well as just get additional value out of your flicker engines and all your enter the battlefield effects. So Insidious Will is a very nice one. Being a hard counter, it can just counter any spell, but it can also choose new targets for a spell, or it can copy an instant or sorcery spell. So it's very flexible, has so much application that, it's worth having. It's definitely worth having. On to the last 2 cards. Psych Rift falls into, instant speed interaction, but it's also in the board wipe category. So Supreme Verdict, board wipe, and it can't be countered. Very good. Psych Rift, completely broken. Bouncing all non-permanents you don't control for 7. Basically insane. So that is all for the bulk of the deck. Now it's on to lands. So for lands, we run Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats, Misty Rainforest, Flooded Strand, and Windswept Heath. We run a couple off-color fetches because, well, they enable us still access to a fair amount of different options, so definitely all worth running. Some other cheaper mana fixing, while still less efficient, still very strong. Breeding Pool, Temple Garden, Shocklands. Some more stuff our fetches can get are Canopy Vista and Prairie Stream. Come into play untapped if you control 2 or more basics. Seaside Citadel comes into play tapped, but taps for all 3, so it's still very good. Glacial Fortress comes into play untapped if you control a Plains or Island. Very good. Command Tower, Reflecting Pool. Just good lands to have. Gaia's Cradle, Alchemist's Refuge. 2 of the very broken lands in the deck. Gaia's Cradle is insanely busted, and then Alchemist's Refuge gives our non-land cards flash for a green, a blue, and tapping it, so both very strong. Some of the bounce lands we run. So they enter the battlefield tapped, and they bounce a land to our hand, but they basically let us tap for 2 mana. So these are very strong, right? Either making our activated ability to bring our commander in for the command zone for 4 essentially free if they're enchanted with the enchantment that makes them tap for 2 additional colors of whatever we want. So just super strong cards, especially with being able to untap a lot of permanents with creatures dealing combat damage and things with Derevi. Just getting that additional mana tempo can really make a big difference. If you have played enough games, you definitely would agree, I'd say. So we run, for basics, 8 forests, 6 plains, 4 islands. Yep, that is the whole deck. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this and got some insight out of this video. I certainly had a blast sharing some of my insights with you guys. It definitely is a really fun deck to pilot, giving you tons of versatility, tons of options. And when I play this deck, you know, I hardly ever feel like I didn't have a good game. Even if I don't win, I give people a run for their money. I get to draw a lot of cards, do a lot of fun stuff. I mean, it's overall just a blast to play this deck. You could definitely run Rune as the commander if you prefer, I guess, but Derevi's just so strong and such a fun commander that I'd highly recommend it. So anyway, I like constructive criticisms. If you guys have any suggestions for constructive criticism, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any decks you would like to see me profile, feel free to leave those in the comments. I have a fair amount of decks coming, so maybe you'll be on the list or you'll get another deck added. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe if you guys enjoyed the content, and I'll see you very soon in more deck techs. Take care.